Hello students, good morning. Today's class we are going to discuss about quick revision of neural control and coordination chapter. So it's important chapter and there is hope there is 2 or 3 questions from this chapter in final NEET examination. So neural system is a system that controls, that coordinates that body activities, conducts and integrates the information and responses to the stimuli. So nervous system is the system that controls and coordinates the body activities. So whatever the different types of organs and organ systems are presented in the body, and those are worked on the based on control and coordination. For example, whenever we are taking food, that time only enzymes are releases. So enzymes are releases based on what? Enzymes are releases by the stimulation of hormones. So the system that controls and coordinates that body activities. So whenever we are taking food, that time enzymes are releases and the food is undergoes a digestion process, and here it controls and coordinates by the body activities and conducts the integrates the information and responds to the stimuli. So whatever the external responses receives by the body and against stimuli, so responses we are going to exhibit by the presence of neural system, right? It includes brain, spinal cord and nerves. What are the components of neural system? So components of nervous system: brain, spinal cord and nerves. So it is made up of specialized cells known as neurons. So the neural system, which is made up of with the cells which are presented in neural system, so those are neurons, right? Neuron are also called nerve cell. So neuron is the structural and functional unit of a neural system. So neuron is the structural and functional unit of a neural system. So the structure of neuron diagram given once in NCERT, once you go through the diagram also. So the neuron or nerve cell consists with the different types of the parts. So those are the tree-like structures are called dendrites, the branched structures are dendrites, and cell body and axon terminal. Dendrites, cell body and axon terminal, right? And the cell body consists with the cell granules and cell body consists with the nucleus also, and axon rod like structure. So throughout the length of the neuron is called axon. It originated from started from cell body, and axon consists with a layer that is called membrane is called myelin sheet, and next one, and these are called nodes of Ranvier, and whatever the cells are presented, these cells are called Schwann cells, and axon terminal, that is a synaptic bulb or synaptic knob. So those are axon terminal. These are also one of the type of branch like structures, right? So neuron is the structural and functional unit of neural system, is composed of cell body that is cyton, contains cytoplasm, cell organelles and nissel granules, granular bodies. So nissel granules consist of ribosomes, helpful for protein synthesis, and cytoplasm and different types of cell organelles are presented, nucleus and dendron. So these are dendrites, short fibers projecting from the cyton. Their sub branches, dendrites, transmit impulse towards the cyton. So whenever dendrites or receives the nerve impulses from other neuron or other body parts, and directly it transmits the nerve impulse to where? Nerve impulse to the cyton, that is cell body. Cell body or cyton are also called as soma. And axon, a long fiber which transmit impulses away from the cell body. So long fiber like structures which transmits the impulses from the cell body up to the region of axon terminal. The branching of axon is called axonate, and each axonate ends as a bulb like structure called synaptic bulb. So this is synaptic bulb or synaptic knob, right? So through the synaptic bulb, the action potential or nerve impulses reaches to the other muscles or other body parts or other regions of neurons, right? And types of neurons. So types of neurons based on the structures, neuron is different types, differentiated into various types. Those are unipolar neurons, bipolar neurons, and multipolar neurons. Unipolar neurons, in the name only, uni, bi, and multipolar. Unipolar neuron, one axon, no dendrites. So axon is one and dendrite is, there is no dendrites. That type of the neurons are called unipolar neurons. So unipolar neurons presented at embryonic stage only, and bipolar neurons, one axon and one dendrite. So one axon, one dendrite is presented. Such type of neurons are called bipolar neurons. So found in retina of what? Retina of eye. And multipolar neurons, one axon and two or more dendrites. So one axon and more dendrites are presented. Such type of neurons are called multipolar neurons. So most common type. So those are found in cerebral cortex. So which type of the neuron most commonly presented in multipolar neurons? Those are multipolar neurons. And where it is found? Cerebral cortex. So which neurons found in retina? Bipolar neurons. And which neurons presented in embryonic stage only? Unipolar neurons. So based on present and absent of myelin sheet, the neurons are classified into two different types: myelinated axon and non-myelinated axons. So there is two different types of the axons of the neurons: myelinated axons and non-myelinated axons. It is enveloped with Schwann cells, and from a myelin sheet around the axon found in spinal cranial nerves. So here we discussed nerves. There is two different types of the major nerves. Those are spinal nerves and cranial nerves. Cranial nerves means the nerves which are originated from brain. Those are cranial nerves. Spinal nerves, the nerves from spinal cord, spinal nerves. So here you should remember important point: myelinated and non-myelinated neurons. Both are also having Schwann cells. The Schwann cells are presented in myelinated and non-myelinated axon also. So here myelinated axon, it enveloped with Schwann cells, and from a myelin sheet both are presented. Schwann cells and myelin sheet both are presented, and location spinal and cranial nerves. The white color area formed by myelin nerve fibers is called white matter. So gaps between two ends in myelin sheet are called nodes of Ranvier. So this is Ranvier nodes, and the white matter is formed either in brain or spinal cord region. White matter is formed because of presence of myelin, right? Myelinated axons. And next one, non-myelinated axons. Excuse me. Schwann cells present but no myelin sheet. Schwann cells are presented but no myelin sheet. Such type of the axons are called non-myelinated axons, right? And the gray colored area without myelin sheet is called gray matter, right? So whenever myelin sheet are not presented, so in the brain or spinal cord region, so that is called gray matter, found in autonomous and somatic neural system, ANS and PNS. Autonomous and somatic neural system consist with non-myelinated axons, and cranial and spinal nerves consist with myelinated axons. After this clear, right? Location and names and location both are also important. Just go through that. Generation and conduction of nerve impulse, very important topic, right? There is one question compulsory. There is a chance for one question from this topic: generation and conduction of nerve impulses. Impulse transmission is electrochemical. So impulse, whenever the action potential generates in the region of cyton, so those action potential will be goes through the axon and reaches to the axon terminal, and finally the action potential transmits to the nerve impulses transmits to the another body part, another neuron. By these processes, electrochemical process, right? So by why it is called electrochemical? Because of ion movements, this is called chemical. So by the ion movements, what is produces? Electricity is produces, right? Current production takes place. So how the generation and the conduction of nerve impulse processes takes place? So first one, maintenance of resting membrane potential. Maintenance of resting membrane potential. Why it is called resting membrane potential? Because whenever the neuron is presented on rest, means